Hello, welcome to another video by Maths with Sarah. So today we're going to have a look at this graph question. So we've been given a graph that shows the temperature in someone called Liam's room one afternoon. Okay, so we can see that it goes down a little bit, dips a small amount around 2 o'clock, and then it peaks again, so we get it quite warm here. So what we've been asked to do, we've got 3 different questions that we've been asked here. First one is to estimate the temperature at 3:15, then to estimate it at the time when the temperature was highest, and then to have a look at how much the temperature's changed between 2 and 2:30. So quite a lot of different skills that you needed here. I really suggest that if you're going to have a look at this question, if you had this in an actual test paper, that you maybe use your ruler to try and get as straight line as possible. Okay, so let's have a go at this question. So the first part is we've been asked to estimate the temperature at 3:15. So we need to start by working out. So we've got 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, or 1 p.m., 2 p.m. So this one in between will be 1:30. So each one of these little tick marks here is quarter of an hour. So this will be 1:15. And this one here will be 1:45. Okay, but instead of the ones, I've done this in the ones, but in actual fact, we want the threes. So we can assume that this gap here is the same. So this one here will be 3:15 p.m. So in order to work out the time, if we draw a line from here all the way up to where we see the line on the graph, so draw it up to there, and then we'll go across from here to the temperature. So this is where the line is here. So we've been asked to estimate the temperature at 3:15. So we can see that it's somewhere in between here. So how do we work out what that is? So we've got 20. So this will be 21, 22, 23, and 24. Okay, so this temperature here comes exactly in between, halfway in between 22 degrees and 23 degrees. So the answer to this one, I think we'll put it down as 22.5, so exactly halfway between 22 and 23 degrees. Okay, so the next part of this question asks us to estimate the time when the temperature was at its highest. So the first thing, we don't know what the temperature is when it's at its highest, and we've been asked to do this the opposite way around. So last time we went along on the time, we found the time that we needed, went up to where the line is on the graph, and then read off the temperature. This time we need to do it the opposite way around. So we need to find the point where the temperature is highest. So this will be somewhere around this point here. And then we want to know what sort of time that is. So we're going to draw a line from there all the way down as straight as you possibly can, down to the time. So down to this x-axis, it's got the time on it. And we're going to use that to work out, try and figure out what sort of time it is. So we said before that each one of these ticks is 15 minutes. So this would be 2:15, 2:30. This one here will be 2:45. And it's somewhere between 2:45 and 3 o'clock. It's not quite halfway. So if we're thinking of a clock, if we've got a clock face, we'd have 2:45 will be here. Then we'd have 50, 55, and the o'clock. So this would be like our 9, 10, 11, and then the 12 at the top. So this is our clock, and we had it on the time. 2:15, so it's a little bit after 2:40. Sorry, it's a little bit after 2:45. So I would probably say it's about the weight's probably about 10 to. So if we write this down, we'll probably say it's around about 2:50. So it's probably about 5 minutes after 2:45. It's 2:50 p.m. Okay, so the last part of this question is asking us how much did the temperature change from 2 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. So we need to have a look again. We can draw up on this graph and say, okay, what was the temperature at 2 o'clock, and what was the temperature at 2:30? So let's draw a line across here, and we'll draw a line across here as well. And we'll try and work out what the temperatures are at each of these. Okay, so here We know that the temperature for this one is just a little bit below 22, isn't it? So we'll call it, I don't know, 21.5, 21.7, something like that. It doesn't really matter what we call it. It's just a little bit below 22. And if we do the same for this one and read it off, we know that this one is 16 and this one here is 17. And again, it's just a little bit less than 17. So just to make the maths a bit easier, just because they're both a little bit less than one of the numbers, we could call this 17 and 22. So we've got 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So the difference between 17 and 22 is 5 degrees. And again, it has asked us to give it to the nearest degree. So it's not trying, to get us to work it out in really, really, really precise. It's just asked us to give us an estimate to the nearest degree. So that would give us 5 degrees between 17 degrees and 22 degrees. And that's the difference in temperature between 2 o'clock and 2:30 p.m. So what we now need to just double check is that we've given the right sort of answer to each of these questions. We can think about what sort of units we might want to use. So we've been asked to estimate, this first one we were asked to estimate the temperature. So we need to check that we have in fact given a temperature. Yes, we've given a number that's in degrees C. It makes sense. 20 to 22 degrees is a reasonable temperature. So we can be pretty sure that this one's probably about right. Again, this second one, we've been asked to estimate the time. So we need to make sure that the answer that we've given is a time. So we've given our time as 2:50 p.m. It's a valid time. It is also a time. So we haven't given them a temperature, we've given them a time as we were asked. So again, it says that it's very much sensible time. Our graph goes from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. So again, it makes sense that this is a reasonable answer. And the last one, we've been asked to give a temperature change. So this last one, we've been asked to give it to the nearest degree. So we know that our answer needs to be in degrees C. And again, 5 degrees is very reasonable. We've not given them 500 degrees, which wouldn't make sense on this graph when we're only going from 10 to 25. So again, very reasonable, makes it seem like we've probably got the answer to this question about right.